What is going on, people? It's Matt from Liquid Loans, and in this video, we're going to be answering the question, what is DeFi? Let's go. So let's get straight into it. DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance, meaning there's no one controlling entity, one party, group of people, or company that controls the system or protocol. And essentially, it's computer code in a smart contract on the blockchain that performs a function. So an individual using it is just interacting with the code with the smart contract. But we can't talk about DeFi without mentioning Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was the first decentralized form of money, meaning no bank or government controlled it, which was revolutionary, and it allows peer-to-peer transactions without any middlemen. So Jack could send money to Jill without anyone getting their grubby little fingers in the way. And while that's great, there's more to finance than sending and receiving money. There's saving plans, there's loans, insurance, etc. And that brings us onto centralized finance, also known as CeFi, because up until now, all financial systems have been centralized and based on trust. For example, when you go to the bank and deposit your money, you trust that when you go back next week, next month, or next year, it's still going to be there. And most of the time it is. But not always, as we've seen in a certain financial crisis, like in Cyprus in 2013, when the banks shut the door and said, we're taking a portion of your money so us as a government can stay solvent. Screw you guys. Nice. CeFi is also expensive. If you've ever taken a loan, used a credit card, got a mortgage, you know how high interest rates can be. Maybe 5 to 15% for a loan, up to 35% for a credit card, so you'll be paying back a lot more than you borrowed in the first place. There are also big risks. Remember, humans are at the center of this, and humans are fallible. As much as the banks and the whole CeFi system like to think we're upstanding citizens, they pretend they're the center of the universe. When there is money to be made, when there is financial gain to be had, people do dodgy stuff. And as we see in CeFi, we'll see fraud, corruption, insider trading, embezzlement, mismanagement, just to name a few. So a DeFi ecosystem aims to replicate CeFi services, but with no central authority. And to do that, you're going to need an infrastructure, and that's the blockchain. And that also needs to be decentralized and programmable. So the home of this so far has been Ethereum. And on Ethereum, dApps, or decentralized apps, and smart contracts can be deployed that carry out program tasks in a completely decentralized manner. So the core components of a DeFi ecosystem are as follows. Firstly, you need that decentralized infrastructure, the blockchain. And up until now, that's been Ethereum. Then you need money to interact on the network. And while you could use ETH, the foundation currency of Ethereum, the price is quite unstable due to trading and speculation, hence why stablecoins were created. Here we can see DAI, Tether, USDC, and these are cryptocurrencies pegged to the value of the US dollar. So you can go to bed at night and rest easy knowing that your $1,000, for example, will be the same amount when you wake up. After that, you need a DEX, a decentralized exchange. And this is where you can swap cryptocurrencies quickly and safely. Now, if you've ever used a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Kraken or Binance, these have a single point of failure. They're run by humans, they've been hacked before, they've had security breaches, given away sensitive information, and they also control your funds. They can block your payments coming in and going out, so you need that DEX to safely trade in a DeFi ecosystem. So let's compare some examples of DeFi versus CeFi and see how they match up. Let's start here with a bank loan versus a crypto collateralized loan. When you roll down to the bank, firstly you have to go within their working hours, so 9 to 5 on a weekday, weekends it's shut. Then if you get approved, which could take a while with all the paperwork, you're looking at high interest rates and a strict repayment schedule. Now let's compare that to a crypto collateralized loan, such as liquid loans, where there's a tiny fee, 0.5% fee to open the loan, 0% interest, and you also never have to pay back your loan as long as you're over collateralized. Now let's talk about moving money. Moving money in CeFi is cumbersome. Anything over 10K USD has to be reported and authorized by the bank. Also, moving money around can incur big charges, especially if it's across borders or overseas. While in DeFi, you can move like 10 million US dollars without anyone blinking an eye. You can do it peer-to-peer at any time of the day. And yeah, on Ethereum, there might be a gas fee, but it's still probably going to be a lot cheaper and a lot faster than using a CeFi bank. And lastly, we come to KYC, which stands for Know Your Customer, and all the paperwork that goes with CeFi. Because if you open a bank account, for example, get a credit card, there's a lot of paperwork to fill out. And in CeFi, you have to provide proof of work, proof of address, proof of income, etc. In DeFi, there's none of that. As long as you meet the requirements of that protocol, you have a wallet with the right crypto in it, you have an internet connection, you can do it anywhere, anytime, no paperwork, no KYC. So let's talk about the main pros of DeFi. Well, number one, there's no one controlling entity, completely decentralized and trustless. It's immutable. Once the code is set, live and running, it can't be changed, it can't be turned off. And if it can, it's not real DeFi. It's also a lot cheaper than CeFi, as we've seen those big interest rates on credit cards, loans, mortgages, they all add up. In DeFi, you can get a loan for 0%. There's also transparency with everything as it's viewable on the blockchain. You can see transactions, you can check the code of protocols and find out if others have used it and was it legit. And also there's no discrimination. Believe it or not, in 2022 in certain parts of the world, people are still discriminated against based on their social economic status, their religion, their gender, etc. In DeFi, there's none of that. As long as you can meet the requirements of the code, of the protocol, you can use it. Simple. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows in DeFi, so what about the cons? Well, it's still in its infancy, and that means things can and have gone wrong. We've seen some security breaches due to human error or bad actors writing code, which allows them to exploit the users. Also, some services claim to be DeFi, but are actually only partially decentralized and still have a central point of failure. Certain blockchains, certain protocols claim to be DeFi, but are actually partially decentralized. Not naming any names, Solana. Sorry, a little tickle there in my throat. So to sum it up, DeFi is a term for decentralized finance that aims to replace the current centralized financial system. The core components are the infrastructure, which is the blockchain, the money, which is the stablecoins, and the DEXs, the decentralized exchanges, with the goal being to bring all types of financial instruments onto the blockchain, including insurance, loans, and money markets. But as it's still in the early stages, in its infancy, there are some risks, and some protocols have experienced security breaches, so please always do your own research before using any DeFi protocol. I hope that video gave you some knowledge on DeFi and the differences between DeFi and CeFi. If you like the video, guys, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos and content for the channel. You can also give us a like, share the vid with someone who you think it might benefit, and also drop a comment for the algo. It helps us out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.